Let's just wait a minute or so and see who pops in here, and let's draw a card. It is 11:11 in this moment. Make a wish. 11:11 is the number of mastery. Oh, and here's the card that wants to come today. This is the fifth time I've drawn this card in a row. It is Soul Family. And it says, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So, this is the time, friends, when we are really summoning the soul connection to our tribe. It happens on earth plane, it happens in galactic plane. We are in a sorting out period where we are dismantling the old, welcoming the new, and our soul families who we're connecting with. It's those souls who we have met in other experiences, other places, other dimensions that are here with us to help us in our remembrance, to bring us home and home to heaven on earth, home to feeling sourced, feeling seen, held, loved, supported. You are never alone. And as the soul family comes in to be recognized at the highest level, this is where the magic really occurs of our initiation and moving into higher consciousness. So if you have any comments, let me know where you're coming in from, calling in from, and I'm going to try and keep up with them on my phone. And I think we're going to go ahead and dive in. So many blessings to each and every one of you. I'm honored to be here with you, not just here in the Conscious Creator community, but on the earth plane. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a journey we are on. It's been very intense and it's been super magical and so amazing in so many ways. And part of today's potency is where we get to go and where we're initiating and moving into. I want to bring this beautiful device in. We're going to use this when I was feeling into our. We are going to do an activation, it's rather like a meditation. It's going to be guided. I do work with a light council. It's a group of beings. There's usually 13 of them. It depends who comes in what frequency. But use this image as we go. And so I have no idea how long this is going to be. My intention was a half an hour, but if you've been here with me before, you know these things get very distorted beyond time because time is an illusion in their dimensionality. I do want to say just a little heads up. I will channel the light council. I may speak some light language, which is a soul language. It comes through usually to help accelerate the cellular reboot. Um, if you are not in a place to sit through the activation, like to really receive it, to close your eyes, to be on the journey, then tune back in later when you can. So I'm going to teach for a little bit, very, very condensed. And then we're going to move into an activation where I'm going to ask you to be present with it. You can, by all means, take it in, but to really receive it, you need to be in full presence. So if it makes more sense for you, it's going to live on this page. I'll upload it to YouTube. It will be shareable. I encourage you to share it. If it makes more sense for you to take it in, they're saying it'll be about 18 minutes of actual activation time. So just move as you're called to move. This is called through my heart from the collective. They are very clear that they wanted us to join together today. Welcome Pacific Grove, welcome Maui, welcome everybody. And because I can't see the comments on my screen, just be patient with me. At the end, I'll go back and see if you have any questions. And go ahead if you have any questions and put them down below. Let's connect just for a moment, settle the space, whether you're watching this live or you're receiving it later, it's all the same. Time doesn't exist, as I've said. We're all in a vortex of co-creation. We're here in this now moment, but this now moment can be any moment of which it exists in which you tune in. And that is the magic of humanity in this time and space. let's go ahead and just set the container. I'm going to connect our higher selves, higher self to higher self frequency, getting a lot of jaw tightness and back of occipital ridge tightness. So we are going to be activating through the third eye. Third eye originates in the center of the head through the pineal gland, but you need to open up the front and the back expression. So this is the yeah, just open like you're parting a curtain through your occipital ridge, just intentionally, or even with your hands, just part the curtain, open up the crown. If you have pressure in your head, that's an indicator that your chakral systems are a bit congested or concentrated, like locked down a little bit. Just breathe open space in. We don't want to go in too deep just yet, but just set an intention. There we go. That jaw, that all chakral systems as you perceive them from third dimensionality begin to open, ground to the earth, connect to the heaven, and we'll connect higher self to higher self, setting intention that everything always is for highest and greatest good. If this is for you, it'll be received through you, through your higher self. If it's not for you, it just moves on, right? You're a divine sovereign being of free will. Receive it as it's meant to be received. Remember, we are here as one soul family initiating together. So let's talk really briefly. And those of you who know me know that briefly can go on and on. I'm really intentional about being honoring your time today. Thank you for being here. I am Lisa McCradle, for those of you who know me and those of you who don't. I created my coaching system, I'll call it, which is Inner Wisdom Awakening. I'm a spirit channel, and I'm here to support the consciousness of humanity to rise to this new frequency. I do identify as a star seed, as most of you do as well. And we are here to make the magic happen and usher in the new earth. I'm honored to be here with each and every one of you, here and here. I love you. I'm sending love to your light, and thank you for being here and for trusting me as we walk this journey together. So rich. Make sure you have water. These initiations, when we move into them, these activations, they are cellular. It can take time for them to integrate. Water is your best friend. Be very conscious and allow the time needed for integration. Usually 24 hours, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. But here we are at spring equinox in this really potent year of 2021. And just as a reminder, what the spring equinox is we have equal amounts of light and equal amounts of dark today. It's the great balancer. It's also the ushering in of the Aries sun. So adjust your crowns. And as we move out of that Piscean expression, we've been really I'm going to say swirling the depths of emotion, right? Pisces brings that emotion and that opportunity to take the deep dive into the depths of the emotional pool. Aries brings us back to the light, back to the sun, back to the fire, back to to the empowered self. This is all so interesting how it lines up in time and frequency. Of course, there's no mistakes. Everything is in divine order. We went through in the winter solstice, we entered a portal. And for many, these last 3 months have been really, really intense and very deep and really kind of uncomfortable. I mean, I've been saying if you're not slightly uncomfortable, you're not getting the presence that is required for this massive transformation. The portal we went through was intentional, of course, as everything is. And we really went into what I'm perceiving to be, I said in a video some time ago that we've had a foot in each dimension, right? We've been standing in the third, standing in the fifth. And this was the time where we had both feet in the third or both feet in the fifth. We're making that decision. Where are you going to operate? Where are you going to ride? You can't ride like this forever. Well, it's like the earth splits and you're going to have to choose. Like where are your feet going to land? And so these last 3 months have been very much about, this is what being both feet centered in fifth dimensionality feels like. And this is what standing both feet in third dimensionality feels like. And it's not a wobble between the two. It's like fully immersed in both. And I know because I'm walking it and I'm witnessing so many people, that 3D full stand and density is really, really, really uncomfortable. So this portal we went through, as I'm perceiving it, as the Light Council is showing it, was this opportunity for us to get really clear about the frequency differences. It was also for us to kind of do a review, to go back in. Most people have experienced like the core belief systems, the core pain points, the core third density. Like, did you feel the pull of the core? Whatever your lessons, right? That 3D lesson, karmic play. Did you feel it at the core? Did you have to make core decisions? Were core aspects of your life up for review? And it's kind of like the great observing, the deep dive. I was saying the other day that if you're in a really deep pool, like very deep pool, and you're halfway down, it's a lot of work to scurry back up to the top, to the surface, to breathe, to get light. But if you fall all the way down, if you hit the bottom and go to the murk and the muck, you can use that muck as the springboard, right? When you're at the bottom of the pool, you can spring up. You have acceleration, you have momentum, you have greater ease of reaching the surface more rapidly. And that's what we've been doing. We've been going to the depths so we can create resolve. It's also, the spring equinox is also the time when those intentions that we planted with the winter solstice, like those intentions, right? The seeds start to spring open, right? They start to peel back so that we can move into birth, into bloom, into blossom. That's what's happening here. And today, with the balance, it's also where we get to decide. So there is definitely, I'm going to say, a battle of light and dark happening on planet Earth right now. We've been operating in this low density. There's lots of entities and lots of energies that play through that. And this coming to the light, this is where we get to decide this equal, bringing everything into equal balance, right? If we're in a low vibratory state and we're in this low emotional state of shame, blame, guilt, anger, right? This is David Hawkins, Power versus Force. Most of you know it. If you're in that low density of emotion, it's not realistic to just move. It's possible, but it's not programmed to I'm in love or above, right? 500 to go from 2030 to 5, 6, 700. It's a feat of magic, which you have the capacity to do, but most of us aren't aware of how to do that. So where we go is to neutral, right? We go to balance and then we rise from balance. Today creates balance. Today creates the neutral. It's where we bring the light and the dark together so that we can then rise and ascend into greater light. And yes, this happens every year, but this is like no other year, because we're at that crossroads where we're really deciding and choosing as a collective if we're going to usher in, well, we've already decided that New Earth is already ushered in. This is where we get to bring it into the reality of our perception, our perceived living, right? Where we get to like wipe the sleep from our eyes, see with real eyes what we could not see before through the illusions and the programs, and become, they're saying, and come to the light. And so they are going to walk us through an activation, a meditation we'll call it, but it's an activation to getting there. So just a few quick little things, and then I'll get out of the way and let them speak on through. Remember, this is balance, light to dark. You always get to choose. So because the frequency is set to bring us into the balance of light and dark, your mind is still deconstructing old programs. That means in every moment you have to choose. Are you going to lean into the limitations of the old? Or are you going to allow for the full blossom of your light frequency to bring you into the light of the new? This is their question direct to your soul. You choose in every moment. Every moment you choose by your thoughts. You choose by how you're feeling. You choose by the words that you attach to it. You choose by who you choose to spend your time and your energy with. You're always choosing. You are free will. You choose. If it doesn't feel good for you, it's not for you. You don't need to understand why. You get to choose what feels good. And the more you expand into the feeling good states of being, the more you are aligning into the new earth energy that's already here, and you're taking steps forward to move into it. And in response, everything in this reality shifts, becomes brighter, begins to show you. Instead of you working it, it begins to move through you. And in the co-creation and collaboration, they're saying, of the unity of divine consciousness, forward you shall blossom. That's the counsel coming through. So much love to you. So what we're doing, we went through that 3 months of density so we could gaze thoroughly upon the old, so we could see, so we could reconcile, so we could heal, so we could resurrect those fragmented and lost parts of ourselves into union, so that in your wholeness, in your full bloom, you can rise up to the light and the new dimensionality that is upon you. Take a breath, take some water. So the portal of the old from 3 months ago is closing. Simultaneously, it's a sliding door. The portal of the new is open. They say has already opened. Most of you are feeling it. 4 things they wanted to say before I get out of the way. Stop trying so hard. You don't have to try hard in higher dimensionality. In fact, trying and doing are not part of your expanded reality. It's been a program of the old. So what do? We don't. We be. We become. You allow, you set intention. Your capacity for manifestation in this now moment, the frequency that is upon you, is extraordinary. Blink your eyes, think it, feel it, resonate with it, and so make sure that you have super clear, like really, really amplified clarity, that you are creating from the lens of who you're becoming, not who you once were, because your capacity to create more of the old is humming right along with you. You choose in every moment. They say, how do you get there? You gotta believe. You gotta believe. And belief means trust. I trust that everything is working for me. I trust that there is a divine organization. I trust that there is divinity alive and in and around and of me. And therefore, I trust that I'm a divine creator and that everything is moving exactly in the frequency and the harmony of which it is to be created within me. And so it is. Breathe. They're saying activation has already begun. So here's the words that are coming. Celebrate. Celebrate each initiation as you rise up, as you feel good, as you remember who you are, as you create as the divine creatrix. Celebrate. Be in awe. Be in awe. Be in wonder. Be wonderful. And then they say relax. Like relax, trust and rising and allowance gives you the capacity to relax. They say, we've got you and you've got this. So with that, we are going to move. Let me just check and make sure everything's good down here. Watching. Look at all you beautiful souls. Ah, so honored. So beautiful. Okay, drink a sip of water. Honestly, water. You have to remember that this is all frequency. Everything's frequency. When we do a cellular activation, we're upgrading the cellular response. This moves through DNA. This extracts old belief system. This works through the mind, through the brain. They're going to take us in a lot of ways. Water is a conduit of electricity. It's a conduit of exchange, right? It helps to alchemize. Water is what allows the mobility of frequency to move freely through your body. It's one of your greatest friends. So make sure you fall in love with it. Your body, this earth, 70-80% water. That is by divine design, my friends. So here we go. If it makes sense for you for where you are, go ahead and close your eyes. Go ahead and lean back. If you're a person who falls asleep during these things, I'm going to inspire you to sit up, lean back, close your eyes. There's nothing wrong with falling asleep in these places. It works through the subconscious, but they want you fully present today. So whatever feels right. Move as you're called to move. They're saying 18 minutes. That's what they say. So we trust. So go ahead and begin to find your inner landscape. And the breath is always the tool. that brings you into that inner well and that inner wisdom, bringing you in. We're going to do the guided activation, and then the light council is going to speak to you as the activation is initiating through the cellular remembrance, cellular body. And so finding your breath, finding your comfort, finding pause, finding ease, opening up your vessel, and letting the mind have its wonder, and inviting it to wander outside of the matrix of your current expression. If the mind wants to play your to-do lists, that's awesome. Go send it to the park or the beach to go play with your to-do list. It'll come back later and get everything organized. And let's begin by setting in a vision towards your third eye. Let's say they're saying let's begin in the third eye. So see your higher self as a portal of fluid, liquid light wanting to pour down through the top of your head, creating greater space within the third eye. Remember that point behind the base of the skull. It's going to move out through there, and then it's also going to move out through the mouth. So down through crown, out through back, and then moving out through the mouth. This is interesting. We'll ask that the lens of the third eye from the frontal lobe is naturally adjusted from higher consciousness. We're going to request that your master strand of DNA come up and online to receive this activation and initiation. Again, to each higher self it is offered. If it is for you, if it is not, it's just to be left behind alone and to be integrated and implemented into your personal frequency in any way, any time frame that makes sense to serve you at the highest level. Move your jaw around a little. A lot of jaw tension. Jaw opens up the pelvic floor. So we're immediately opening up the pelvic floor and the base of the soles of the feet. Opening up, connecting to Gaia, letting her come up and feed through you. It's an exchange in any way that is right for you. We're going to call forth that all systems are set. Initiation has begun by being present here, and you are saying yes to receive that which is gifting here through to you. You're going to drop your awareness down into your heart. What color does your heart want to express with today? There is no judgment. It's always allow it. And from that color of your heart, the deep well, they're calling the deep well of the spring that flows forth. You're going to allow that essence or the energy of your heart to begin to open your left hand. The left hand opens into receiving. The right hand offers into giving. So both hands begin to open as if you are holding a ball of pure light in each one. Make sure that your grounding cords are set. There's a lot of pressure for some in the base of the spine. Make sure you open that frequency very wide to allow for the disbursement of that which is complete to be released from you. They say there is nothing to do, dear ones. It is all in infinite order. And in fact, it's already been done. We are really bringing you and all parts of you online here so that your cellular memory may catch up with the frequency of your creation that is already upon you. Take a breath. And so with that breath, the invitation is for you to gaze with your third eye into this ball of pure light, like a gazing ball that lives in your left hand. And this ball is for you to gaze upon that which is complete for you. This is the gaze into the past. There's no need to reach for anything unless there is a vision that is wanting to be shown to you through your gazing ball. And if so, receive it with neutrality. It is not to get lost in any expressions or experiences that have occurred, but to bring back the fragmented pieces of remembrance so that you may integrate to higher levels. So you're gazing into this ball. You might find that your hand begins to move. Making sure we're still here. Your hand begins to move. There we go. Spiraling around in the movement. Gazing into the ball. Seeking and looking for that which is wanting to be shown to you. You might see within that orb that there is also another viewing glass that pops up within it that shows you the expression of you as the feminine. This has nothing to do with what gender you are expressing in this earth plane. This is a frequency of femininity that is alive within each human being. And it might present as a color, as a shape. Is there anything in that expression of divine femininity that is wanting to be expressed or experienced? This gazing ball is also the place where you hold the remembrance of the mind. This is the representation of the third dimensionality, of the past, of where you have been, spiraling, showing. And when it comes into a crystal clear expression, you're looking for the crystal clear ball, then you know that the integration or the expression of the third dimensionality of the we will call it of the past, or of the shadows, of the dark, of the old, of the complete, it will come into pure crystal clear expression. You might find that your hand is moving in a specific direction, and it might even, for some, find a pause, and for some it might keep going. And in your time, when it makes sense, the gaze naturally begins to come over here to the right. You might find that the hands move in the same frequency or perhaps in an oppositional frequency. It does not matter. But your gazing ball to the right becomes where you're going, becomes the expression of your soul's truth. This is your future gazing. This is your fifth dimensional reality. You're holding both in both hands at the same time. For some of you, you might be called to gaze back to the old just for a moment, to see the difference, to receive the difference of density, and then you're called back to the new. It's a dance between the two. Let your body move as it's called to move. Let your gaze fall upon the reflection as it's called to fall. You might see it in picture. You might feel it in sense. You might see it as light or color. Take a breath. If you're still going back and forth, it's okay. You're attaching to nothing. You are the observer of your own expression in this now moment. Simply observing as your being is wishing to create balance, harmony between that which was and that which shall be. You might feel emotion. Remembrance creates a well. Having been separated from your truest origin has been painful for you, dear ones. It is for you not to attach, but to allow. And the frequencies of new, you might feel pressure within your ears. Open up. The movement occur naturally as it is moving, perhaps spiraling through the other expressions of your body. And if you are not moving, it is still happening. Don't worry not. You are a perfect vessel of expression. Open up your tail. Open up your ears. Open up your mouth. Let the spiral occur. Let your gaze occur in either in both directions. And you will notice that in time, in your own time, the spiraling, if you will begin to match. Your whole body will begin to spiral in one direction, hands and body. If that is for you, if it is not, it is okay. You are perfect. You are perfect. You are perfect. You have always been perfect. The remembrance of your perfection is what is upon you now, dear ones. It is not for you to play in the land of separation. It never has been, but you are running a grand experiment. Your soul has incarnated so many expressions, and it is in this now moment, dear ones, that you are being remembered into the fullest capacity. We must first create balance. So that the new may emerge fully in its expression. Many of you have already made your choices and are already in the sovereignty of creation into the highest frequency of the new, and it is catching up on your earth plane reality. Do not worry. It is all perfect. And you might find pain even moving through your body, through organs. It is okay. Touch to nothing. Allow for everything. It is all in perfect frequency. It is all in perfect harmony. Some of you might be called to hum. That helps move the energy through the cellular vibratory frequency of your bodies. And you might find that you are reaching a natural calming. Some of you have already arrived, and some of you are still in the flux. It is okay. In time, you will come to the still point of balance, where the left and the right hand find peace and pause and feel balanced in their weight. And you find neutral. Take a breath. Ishtokoni ikanain ini. Aishtokoni ishtokoni ai oshtokushin. Elan hoshtokish. They're saying that the next phase of this, dear ones, is for you to see that your body is also cut, not cut, we would say, but sectioned. Not just through the midline of the left and the right, but from the front to the back, as if there are 4 quadrants or 2 spaces. And from the back body, straight through the horizontal, vertical plane, through the plane, front to back. And the back shall be in the shadow of the old, and the front shall open to the light of the new. And the invitation for you, when it is right, is a simultaneous dance. You could look as if the light is on the horizon, but you see that there is a swell of a wave of pure light that perhaps is far off in the distance. You are watching it and witnessing it rolling towards you. It shall be like a tsunami of pure light. And what we are inviting is, in your time, in its frequency, as it approaches towards you, you will take the balance of the 2 worlds, your mind of 3rd density, your soul of 5th dimensionality. And as the great wave of pure light approaches you, you will bring the 2 halves together into one as the wave washes up and over you, past you, and ushers the dark of the old behind it away. Ishtokoni ainin utukini ishtokoshina oni aroshtokoni ishtokosh. Tokoni. I don't know. Receive, dear ones. Let the tsunami of pure light wash over and through every expression of you. You are the sovereign creators of the light of the new, and this initiation has anchored you into the affirmation of it as such. Your soul had said yes long ago. And indeed, dear ones, there is no going back. We are here in our full frequency. We are 22 this day. Because there is more light at play in this now moment than there has ever been on planet Earth. A cascade is significant in an expression of transformation that has not lit up to this frequency before. Yes. Your hands are brought together into perfect union and into perfect balance. Open them like a cup of divine light to receive the infinite flow. Drink it. Allow it to move to the inner planes and bring your hands to your heart. Allow this light frequency to move through any of the wounded expressions that have ever existed within your earth plane reality, through the cells of your being, through the vibratory frequency of your experience, through your memory banks that are dissolving in the dissolution of separation that had once been predominant and now shall cease to hold its power over you. You are coming into your full initiation of freedom, dear ones. It is time, it is now. And each of you being willing to be in the presence of this initiation and activation is shoring up the wells of the transformative expression of the earth plane existence for every human being and every living and breathing frequency that is existent upon it. Oh, this is significant, and we are so dearly, dearly grateful through the depths of our being for you in this moment. Worry not, this is occurring through the frequencies of many. Shall continue over the course of 24 hours until the tipping point has occurred, where there shall be more of you in the awakened state on planet Earth than there is those of you who remain asleep. We are bestowing a significant amount of love through you. Open up to the receiving of it. Let your cups be full and overflowing. This transmission is complete, dear ones. We are here in grace and honor of each of you. We are the council in our fuller frequency. We have never initiated with the 22 today, but today is the day, and we are happy to be here. We're here and available for and with each and every one of you. Each of you holds a frequency that is innate and true in the remembrance of this as such. Simply request our presence and we shall be here. If you need an integration to move into the fullness of this light frequency transmission, then ask. The purity of your waters shall be initiated, and it is for you to put purity of water into your vessel to allow fluidity and flow. We are welcoming that your dreams of manifestation, of creation, of higher frequency shall be made more alive within you than it has ever been. The access points are more available to you in this place and space of time of who you are becoming than it has ever been before. We cannot begin to offer through words the depths of our gratitude to each and every one of you. But we ask that the song of our hearts illuminate and expand the song of your heart so you feel it, so that you know that you are unstoppable, that you are a tsunami of light. The warrior of your light work moves through you, dear ones. Our love is deep. Our gratitude is profound. And this journey, in many ways, has just begun. So take a nice deep breath. Perhaps it was longer than 18 minutes. I do not know. That brings us into completion. I would love it if you, first of all, take your time I would love your feedback in the comments below, what that was for, what that was like for you. And know that your willingness is what has brought us together today. Your willingness to be here on earth plane in your fullest expression of light. Go into the world with your love, with your heart, and with your humor. Make it fun, make it light, make it easy. There's no going back. This is what you said yes to. And this is why you're here. I am sending so much love to your light. Thank you for your presence here on planet Earth. Together we rise as one. There's no mistake. Please share this to those who you believe could be inspired, elevated, and initiated to their highest light frequency in response to it. I love you. And with that, we are complete. I look forward to your comments below. Have a blessed day.